So as we continue with the dashboards, let us quickly take a look into the objects. And if you want to perform any formattings for the same, then we can look into that. Otherwise, we can straightway move towards the dashboard preparations. It's not dashboard, sorry, the storyboard creation. So out here, what do we see? Well, if we click on, any of these objects that they have provided us with. Now, this is again the desktop browser format. If I want to add any text over here, so I'll add a text over here. I'll drag it and I'll drop it over here. And what is this text about? Naval and missile equipment. So I'm just posting here line graph for airborne equipment. Okay. Yes, that's fine. Click OK. So this. So this is a slight trick, because whatever we are going to do here, that will be posted at the center, and if there is a lot of congested dashboards here, then that is going to be a bit of a problem. So this is how it works. If we can add any of these objects, if you want to make any changes to the or any improvements to the given dashboard, but I think we don't need to do that really. Most of this is reasonably well set and done. On the actions for this sheet, you can go to run on the menu, equipment, and personnel analysis will come up for this workbook. We can also remove this, so that's alright. We'll remove it because anyway, there is not much on the features that. If you want to export the image, we already exported the image that we are seeing here. If you want, you can also right click on this and select on the format title, edit the title, click on more options. So these are the given set of features that will get activated that pertain only to this particular worksheet. So this is how you work as far as the dashboards are concerned. And now let us quickly move towards creation of the storyboard. So I'll click on new story. So fine. So what do we have here? See, out here we can see that we have the sheets here. You can see here now this is one dashboard and 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets. We have 4 sheets and 1 dashboard. So we can create the story. We can add a caption. Now in one single story you can have multiple captions. So how do you go for captions? Okay, let us drag this over here. This is the entire dashboard that we brought here, and you can add here the dashboard explains, not explains, this dashboard gives us, essentially explains, depicts, no, not depicts either. The dashboard shows different. It shows land, air, and seaborne equipment worksheet analysis. So that is how your first caption looks like for this particular work, for this particular story that we have here. You can move it. We should be able to move it here. So that is the first caption. If you want, you can add a new story point also. So in the same story, you are adding a new caption. So this is, we have all the land, air, seaborne equipment and also personnel worksheets analysis. That is what we have here. Now this is for the dashboard. Now if you want to go further, then you can select on the airborne here and you can perform the additional analysis. So like what happens if we select null? If there are no losses, then the averages shoot up. So as you perform the analysis on this storyboard, you can also make it interactivity. This will also help you with the interactivity. So when the greatest losses are null, the average equals, what is the average? 100. But when all losses all losses are selected in the filter, averages come down to 60. So what does that mean? Well, the level of interactivity that we have for the storyboard can be very useful and very handy tool. And that is what we are seeing here. So out here, now for this particular worksheet, for the airborne worksheet, we have the filters that were included. But then there would be other worksheets in which we may not have included, such as personnel. So this is the first worksheet that we have, in which we included a dashboard and the airborne worksheet. We can also add another caption. We can add another story, new story point. Let's click blank. And out here, I'm going to add personnel. So what do we see here? Well, we have the measure names mentioned over here, but then that apart, there is nothing much. So what is the story that you can derive or conclude from this particular graph? So we see that the prisoners of war, they shot up from the day 5 and from day 9, after day 5 and day 9, for the first 17 days, the prisoners of war count had shot up considerably. That is how you can conclude. So for first 17 days, the POW, into bracket, the POW count shot up considerably, and then thereafter it showed, and thereafter it stabilized. Likewise, what more do you see here from this? In the initial days, the personnel count, probably if its death has increased, but then we can just simply put it that after post-initial days, after initial deaths of personnel, there has been a gradual increase. After initial spike of deaths, in deaths of personnel, there has been a gradual increase as the war period extended. That is how we can analyze, or that is how the story appears to be. So this is a storyboard that we have. So that is for, let us rename this storyboard equipment analysis storyboard. This is what we have to rename this actually. That was a storyboard for equipment and personnel analysis. Yeah, that is a dashboard, sorry, not a storyboard. So that is what we have, and I'll quickly save this. Likewise, this is the storyboard that we have prepared. So I'll rename this here for the equipment analysis. And once we right click on this, you can see, you can rename the given storyboard. You can also create a new worksheet, dashboard, and storyboard. So again, out here on the dashboard, you can use the different color. Out here we have none. If you make it blue, we can make this, we might choose not to have any colors anyway, so this will change here. So let's click on the story here. Now what do we have here? You can, if you want, you can send, you can copy the image, or you can format the image. You can also export the image. Clearly the same, or mostly the similar features as we see in the case of the dashboards. So you can format this story out here. Now you have the shading and the text objects. The font is regular. The default is what? White. If you want, we can make the changes here. More colors. If you click, you can select any of these colors. Suppose if I select this color and I click OK. So like, the story out here, storyboard equipment appears in this color. And if we select on the normal white color, that is how it looks like. You can make it yellow, maybe pinkish hue. So that is how your formatting can be done. And the shading we are keeping at 85%. We can reduce the shading to 64%. And the different story points that we have in the... So in one single storyboard, you can have multiple story points. So that is not a problem. And right, so this is what we have as far as... If you want to click on explain data, you can click on settings. Is there any explanation that we can have? Extreme values, number of records. So these are the explanations that are available to us. I click OK. If we select this, let us go on the dashboard and select this airborne equipment and then click on analysis. So what does it show us? Well, it can explain us the data, but we are not running it anyway. Let's click on settings. MRL. We can include it. Yeah, see out here, if you select MRL and then I click on explanations. Okay, there is nothing that it's showing over here. So the data settings, for getting the explanations of the data setting, you can select on that format that we showed you all. And then you can also show it as a percentage, the totals, filters here. So all this is for one particular worksheet that we are seeing here. You can also view its data over here. So when you click on that, the full data is available over here. The summary is available here. When you see of the summary, only these 3 columns and the day column is covered because it's a airborne equipment. So and then you can also download it. You can show fields, select fields to display. You can download it. Suppose if you download it, then it will be in the CSV file format. So although your initial data was having all the columns, you can, based on the worksheets that you decide or create in your Tableau, you can download that particular worksheet and its variables separately as a CSV format. That is what it is showing here. Click save. I'll close this. And fine. So this is what we have as far as the storyboards are concerned. And with this, I would like to say that we have concluded our project, whereby we have created the storyboards and the project and everything. We can share the project report on the Tableau server online. So fine, let us click on server. Let us sign in on this. We can also run the optimizer. Let us run optimizer. One action is taken. Updating these items, the best practices, yes, that's missing. So let's unused. The data source contains 6 fields that are not being used. Obviously, they'll not be used because there is incomplete data, and there is one review that is needed. So what is that? Live data connections is not an extract. Yeah, it's not maybe. What are the passes? Yeah, so these are the items that have passed, and you can, if you want, you can publish it. So I click on publish. They'll ask us to go on to server online. I'm clicking on Tableau online. Now it is sending the data to server. Now since I have logged in online, so it should be able to connect us to the server, and if once it goes on the server, then it should appear on the, it should appear there, and the report will get published over there. Now it is going to take some time to send the data, and also we do not know how long should it take, but this is one thing that we can do. That apart, see, now it is asking me to sign in onto the online tableau.com. So let's see. This is taking a little longer to sign in, so I'm going to close this. But that is how you can connect to the server. You can publish the data source, publish the workbook. You can open the workbook. You can open from the. So these are the additional features that are there, and that I have already showed you as part of the overall initial learning process.